Prodigal Son is a very autobiographical play about when I was 15 years old. I went to a private school in New Hampshire after having lived my whole life thus far in the Bronx. So it was a violent rupture with the past. And over the course of the next 2 years, I had kind of thrown in my face the question, who are you? What do you want? What are you going to do?
I always had a book. I was 15. You remember 15? For me, it was a special, beautiful room in hell. I came by train.
Jim!
Mr. Schmidt.
I read your transcript, Jim. You've had a pretty bumpy 2 years.
Yes, I guess I have.
Can I ask you something?
Sure.
It says you were suspended for saying you didn't believe in God. Is that true?
It's true that I said it, but I didn't mean it.
Then why'd you say it?
I was just trying to wake the teacher up, Brother Henry. He taught religion, but the way he taught it, he just read from the book. He didn't like questions. So I raised my hand and said I didn't believe in God to see what he'd do.
And what did he do?
Well, it definitely woke him up, but he wasn't happy. Sent me to the principal.
It's a serious thing to say you don't believe in God.
That's what the principal said. He suspended me.
What got into you?
Just crazy stuff.
What?
Well, the thought came into my head to say I didn't believe in God, and I thought, who put that thought there? And I thought it was probably God, you know?
You met a member of our faculty at the retreat, Alan Hoffman.
He told you about that?
He said you were very good at charades.
He did?
He was amazed. Apparently you guessed the Rubaiyat of Omar Khayyam after one clue.
I really like that poem.
Why?
I don't know. I like to live like that guy.
You mean drink a lot of wine?
No, no. He's just not... There's no misery, you know? You know that poem?
Sure.
He saw day and night like a chessboard, and God was a big finger writing in the sky. He just seemed to see things so... You saw the size of things, you know? And he was free, you know, happy. He saw time goes really fast. I think that too. Life is so short. Why would you give me a scholarship? I flunked everything.
I think you can do the work, and your mother cried on the phone.
She did?
A little.
She'll be happy I have somewhere to go. She was pretty worried.
What about you?
Oh, I was pretty worried too. Like I said, I had nowhere to go.
Well, make use of the opportunity.
I was surrounded by a lot of very intelligent people, but also people who had been raised in an entirely different way. When I arrived, I was quite violent and disturbed and maybe a little delusional, and they had to contend with that, both the faculty and the students, which they did with varying levels of success. Every day that I was there, I was in danger of being thrown out until graduation day. I always knew that I'd write about it because it was a really unusual place, at least from my point of view.
He writes very well.
He does, but I've heard from Rooney that he's failing chemistry.
Well, he's acing English.
That's his natural strength. Real discipline is overcoming your weak suit.
You're right.
What's on your mind?
Him. Have you seen his sweatshirt?
His sweatshirt?
He's wearing a sweatshirt that says "Pray for War" in big letters.
Really? No, I hadn't seen it.
It offends me a bit, but it makes Charlie Ahern ashen. Absolutely ashen. Can you imagine? Pray for war.
Well, Charlie was raised a Quaker.
You don't have to be a Quaker to find "Pray for War" offensive, Carl.
They make sweatshirts that say such things?
It's homemade. His brother gave it to him.
His brother who's in Vietnam.
Exactly. He's a Marine. It's a sweatshirt when he was in combat training.
Have you said anything?
Ordinarily, I would have.
What?
Jim is from such a different background.
Yes.
Where he comes from?
The war is viewed as patriotic.
Exactly.
There were a lot of reasons why I took James Quinn on. One reason was that we don't have another boy like him. He's working class.
He could be so much more.
Nothing wrong with a blue-collar background.
Not at all.
He's entitled to wear the sweatshirt.
He's here to be educated. Those attitudes will hold him back.
With certain people, perhaps.
It's condescending to leave him in ignorance.
Of what?
He's not a Neanderthal by disposition.
It's his brother's shirt, who's risking his life for his country.
It's a ridiculous war fought for reasons that make no sense.
I want you to watch out for him.
I don't mind.
He's the most interesting mess we have this year.
He looks up to you.
Well, let's keep it that way. My chief weapon as headmaster is to stay mysterious. I can't be his friend, but you can.
I'd be delighted.
But refrain from brainwashing.
Of course.
You're good with the troubled ones.
Sometimes.
When this kid, Timothée Chalamet, came in, I sort of, I struggled. I had what I guess some people call cognitive dissonance, because I'm like, is this guy nothing like me, or is he me? And I realized what I was looking for was somebody who could play a character that could physically attack you or write a poem. Because that's kind of who I was. I was a poet, but I didn't have any name for it. And it was sometime during the time I was there, I started to realize that that's what I was, and start to have the courage to say, I'm a poet, which was a kind of revolutionary idea for a guy from the Bronx.
Oh man, what is that? Don't tell me.
Apricot brandy.
Yeah, you're gonna get us killed, and not for me.
Taste it. All right. I don't even like apricots, but that's good.
Spreading out in my chest, my stomach feels like a light bulb.
Summertime in a bottle. I am the master of my fate. I am the captain of my soul.
Not another poem?
Yeah, not by me. Wish I felt like that.
Like what?
I don't know, like I was the master of my fate.
What would you do?
What would I do? I'd smoke. I'd drink. I'd hitchhike all over the country, catch fish, eat corn from the cornfields, write poems like Walt Whitman, just naming everything. And I'd punch anybody who bothered me. Pow! Right in the face. I'd fight in wars. Say everything that came into my head. I'd travel through time, too. Meet all the geniuses. Wouldn't that be cool?
Yeah, it's impossible though.
To prison to think things are impossible.
Young people need to go to the theater. When I was at LaGuardia, when I saw my first scene when I was 13, there's something about a live performance you can't get from a TV show or a movie where it's cut and it's edited. You're seeing someone, and if they're good, you're seeing someone bare their heart on stage, and you can learn from that.
I wrote a poem. I'd like to get your opinion. Can I read it? It's short.
All right.
The German drew back his knife. He saw the Jew man's strife. He asked, "Where's your God now, Jew?" The Jew replied, "He's in your knife, which is about to run me through."
May I see it? You forgot quotation marks.
Yeah, I did without.
Well, quotation marks can be helpful. They avoid confusion. Who's the speaker?
Me.
God is in the Nazi's knife?
Yes, God kills the guy. God's responsible.
Are you saying the Nazi is not responsible?
People are born somebody. They don't choose who they are. I was born me. I don't get to be somebody else even if I want to be somebody else.
Do you want to be somebody else?
What's the matter? I can't be. I'm Jim Quinn. I was born Jim Quinn and I'll die Jim Quinn.
But you have a free will.
Yes, but the free will I have is mine because I'm me. The choices I make because I'm Jim Quinn. And that I didn't choose.
What did you mean when you said you identified with the idea of going into the desert?
In the Bible, when people go into the desert, they meet God or the devil or both. Then they choose. Because it's the Bible, they choose God. But in real life, they choose the devil just as much.
Because they have a free will.
Ooh, you got me. Good one.
You write about the Nazis a lot.
Yeah, I'm done with it, I think. Yeah, I'm done.
Why have you found them so interesting?
They're just the perfect enemy.
I see, that makes sense.
It does?
Yes! It's clear. They're bad.
What do you think of Jim?
I think he's good.
You do?
Yes.
Why?
We were talking about the wasteland, and he said he understood what it is to be in the desert. He was speaking spiritually, Carl. He is honestly struggling.
His struggle is taking up a lot of room.
Something told you to take him in.
It's not working out.
Are you being lazy?
No.
He's using poetry like a ladder to climb out of some terrible place.
And he has a great mentor, the boy, who he looks up to, named Mr. Hoffman, who's played by Robert Sean Leonard. And in him, he finds his great protector and kind of a mirror to help him figure out who he is.
I wish Socrates didn't die like that.
It was kind of beautiful.
Nah, I wish he died after eating spaghetti or something.
Why?
I like spaghetti.
Socrates should not have died eating spaghetti.
I mean, he was a suicide.
Not really.
Yes, he was. Same as Thomas More.
Thomas More was not a suicide. He had his head chopped off. He was a martyr.
But what does that mean? He made the king kill him. Jesus was a suicide too, really.
Yes. Jesus was not a suicide.
Yes, he was.
He was crucified.
Because he wouldn't play the game and lie about what he believed.
Exactly.
Thou shalt not lie, any one of the commandments.
Thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor.
Nobody was asking Jesus to rat out his neighbor, just back off the king of the Jews stuff.
Jesus was not a suicide.
Socrates, Jesus, Thomas More, all those stories are the same. Why should you help the killers kill you? Why even give the truth to second-rate people who don't deserve it?
We all deserve the truth.
Why?
Because it's important that a hero lead the way.
Jesus was no hero like I think of a hero. Heroes, they fight for life. Jesus, he just handed them his sword and said, kill me.
For heaven's sake. Jim, whatever you do, don't say something like that about Jesus Christ in front of Mr. Schmidt.
Why'd you give me a scholarship?
Mr. Hoffman met you on that retreat.
So?
He put in a good word for you. He was impressed about your ready knowledge of the Rubaiyat of Omar Khayyam.
So Omar Khayyam got me in?
If you like.
It was Omar Khayyam? A dead guy?
Jim, no one can know another man's God.
Oh, that's not true, Mr. Schmidt. That's not true. I know Dostoevsky's God. Lots of other people. Homer, even Einstein. But if you have a God, he sure as hell hasn't shown up in your religion
You
class.
watch your language.
This is so unfair!
What do you want? I am giving you a chance to explain yourself.
What about you? Why don't you have to explain
It's
yourself?
my school.
Oh, right, you're the guy. I'm on trial.
What would you call fair?
If it goes one way, I'll leave the school. If it goes the other, you leave. That'd be fair. That's fair. This is just you having everything.
What are you talking about? This is my school. You are here because I've given you an opportunity.
Why is it your school? Huh? Why am I always in the wrong? Why do I have to listen to you when you have zero to say? Because I'm young? All my life I've been young, so I never get a turn.
Went to Performing Arts High School in New York. LaGuardia High School is what it's called now. And that's where I really fell in love with it. It was something to be taken seriously. I saw acting. It doesn't have to be this fake thing where you go into an audition with 30,000 12-year-old kids who want to be on Disney. And there's 2 teachers there. I wouldn't be sitting here right now. You know, I really wouldn't be acting without. That's also why I feel very close to this play.
What do you think's gonna happen to me? I mean, you know, what could I do for a job?
You might become a social thinker, working class writer on union issues, that sort of thing. Or journalist, crime.
Why not a man of letters?
All right, a man of letters.
A poet?
Certainly you could be a poet.
I can't wait to go home.
Why?
I gotta get out of here. I want people to see what I've become. Then I'll know. Have I changed since I've been here?
Oh, yes.
How?
You're more sophisticated.
What do you mean by that?
Your responses to literature have more depth.
You think they're gonna notice that in the Bronx?
Well, not direct, but you carry yourself with more confidence.
I need to have changed.
You have?
I've got to be out of this part of my life.
Why?
Because it's awful.
What's important for you right now is to consciously address your behavior.
What do you mean?
Among other things, your violence.
What do you mean?
You need to stop hitting the freshmen.
I just kid around.
They don't see it that way.
Who complained, Fitzmaurice?
You have 9 days. Don't drink. Don't smoke. Don't hit anybody. Don't steal anything.
Okay.
Don't do anything. Make it through. We've worked too hard to blow it now.
Okay. Why have you helped me?
Since the day you got here, you've been trying to achieve something. I respect that.
What?
You want to shine.
Shine? I don't want to shine. I want to be great.
When it was done, I realized that I had written a play that finally explained to me who I am. So it was pretty exciting for me from that point of view.
Mr. Schmidt, is character destiny?
Absolutely not. That would be predestination, and you don't believe in that.
I don't?
No. Catholics don't believe in predestination, and you are a Catholic. So you have a choice.
Then you have a choice.
Yes, I do.
About me, about whether or not I graduate. You're making me who I am right now. Right now.
How am I doing
You
it?
know what I'm talking about.
I have no idea what you're talking about. Morality can only come from you.
No, morality is everybody together. I don't know much, but I know that.
Mr. Quinn, understand, I have no idea. Not the slightest idea why I'm doing this. I'll die without understanding it.
But I understand.
Jim, I'm going to let you graduate.
You are?
Wow, Uncle Carl.
Thank God.
Thank you. This is the moment you made me, sir. Thank you. Thank you, madam. A lifetime of thanks. Thank you for everything.
To work with Robert as well, who's won awards for what he does. In addition to John, who's, like I said, about as respected as it gets. It's not so much why would you do it, it's like who in their right mind would say no to this?
I'll leave this for the next guy.
I have a very long relationship with Manhattan Theater Club. I've done, I want to say, in the neighborhood of 10 shows with them in all of their spaces, and had an unconscionable level of support for everything that I've done, from things that were extremely successful to things that were a smoking crater. And through thick and thin, they've always shown up again with a fresh appetite to see what I'm doing, and for that, I'll always be grateful.